Alright guys, we're back with our next video. So if you finished last week, which hopefully you have at this point, you have your animal coloring wheel all done and drawn. We are going to be coloring him this week. So you need to make sure that you are taking your time. I know I've already seen some submissions of people that have colored theirs and they didn't color it the right way. So please make sure you're listening to the instructions and directions in the videos, because I do tell you in each video not to, like, if we're not coloring or if we're going to be coloring it a specific way. So you got to be listening and watching those videos, guys. So what we're going to start with is our primary colors. So our primary are the first ones that we ever have. So we can't mix these, we have to have them, and those are red, yellow, and blue. So we have 3 primary colors. I'm going to use marker to color in my color wheel. So I'm going to color his belly, the color wheel belly, with the markers, and then I'm coloring the rest of my fox with colored pencils. I was going to use crowns, but I don't have any at home. So I had to kind of come home rather suddenly. So if you don't have crowns, that's fine. You could use colored pencils. You could use markers for the whole thing. If you don't have markers, you could just use crowns for the whole thing. So whatever it is that you guys have access to. But if you have markers, then use markers for his tummy, and then use either crowns or colored pencils for his face and hands and feet. So what we're going to do, I'm going to start with our primary colors, like I said, and I like to put a little mark to remind myself what color is going to be what. So I put a little red mark there, and then we need a space here because we need to have a space for our secondary. So red and yellow. So yellow is going to be over here. And then when you mix red and now yellow, you get orange. So we're going to have an orange up there. Let's talk about that here in a little while though. So, and then down here at the bottom, we will have blue. So that is our 3rd primary color. So now we have a little blue spot. So this is just as a reminder for myself to be sure that I am coloring in the correct way. So now that we have our primaries, red, yellow, and blue, we can work on our secondaries, and they have to be in a certain order because it's how they combine. So like we said earlier, orange, green, and purple are our secondaries, and you get secondary by mixing 2 primaries. So red and yellow will give you orange. So we're going to go ahead and put a little mark here, maybe down here. Just a little mark for orange, and then we'll color these all in just a minute. And yellow and blue, so we have yellow and blue primaries here. Yellow and blue gives you green. A little mark for green. And then finally, last but not least, we have red and blue over here on the side. And when you mix red and blue, you get our last secondary color, which is purple. Alright, so let's go ahead. Now that we have a little mark, we can go around and color them in. I'll start again with our primary colors. When you are using markers, it is best to color in one line at a time. So if you look here, you can tell that here I've tried going over the same part. So if you're going up and down and just over it again and again and again, it's not going to end up looking that good. So you want to try and keep your lines for each stroke of the marker, each mark, close together. I like to use it at an angle like this instead of like this, because this gives you more that you can color in. And then you can color a little bit faster. So I'm going to turn my little cute color wheel to the side just a little bit, and we're coloring in this spot that we already have our red mark for, and we're just going to go one mark at a time. Just keeping close together. It kind of looks like a rainbow, just a red rainbow. And if you miss some spots, that's okay. We can touch it up a little bit at the end. So this should be something you are spending a little time on to make it look good. I have seen some very rushed art, and it's not looking so great when you rush. So I'm going to touch up these little areas that I missed. My red marker seems like it's getting a little dry. So just a little bit of a touch up there. And then we have our red area all done. So we can put our lid back on. Remember, when using markers, you need to snap that lid on. If you just leave it like this, it will dry out, and then you won't have any markers anymore. So snap it back on. All right, let's go on to orange. Orange might be a little complicated because his head's a little bit covering it. But again, just a stroke at a time. Oops. If you have to go over yourself again a little bit, it's not a big deal. You're just doing your best. Everybody makes mistakes sometimes, so if you make a mistake, it's not the end of the world. You just gotta go one marker stroke at a time. A lot of people find this kind of calming. I know I do. When I first started using markers, I really didn't like them. And I said this in my video for my big kids too. If you don't like markers and that's all you learn from this, well, you learned something, right? All right, we got our orange done, and that actually looks pretty good. I like how that came out. See, we were worried at the start, and there was no reason to be worried because it looks beautiful. All right, so you can tell that I'm continuing to turn my color wheel because I want to keep it at a bit of an angle to help me kind of color nicely with this marker. So don't worry if you have to turn your little animal upside down. He'll be okay. Well, I guess my puppy disagrees. So just a stroke at a time. Alright, so we have our yellow done, and now we're going to move on to green. So make sure you are doing your best to stay inside the lines when you are coloring. If you do not have markers, or your grown-ups don't want you using markers right now, that's fine. You can always do this with crayons. Just remember what we talked about with coloring nicely. If you're using crayons, you need to try to go in the same direction. Pick one direction and color in nicely, taking your time to fill it in. So no scribble scrabble. And the no scribble scrabble rule kind of goes with everything. You don't want to scribble scrabble with your markers. You don't want to scribble scrabble with crayons or colored pencils or anything. You gotta take your time to make beautiful art. So if you are already ahead of me, you might be going too fast. So take your time. So with our videos, we're gonna have a drawing video, and then we will color it in the next video. So if you are still one of my students that is coloring with the first week, make sure you're following those directions, because we weren't supposed to color it last week. Now, if all you did was color your animal, that's fine. But this is just to make sure that all of the kids that are back in school have time to keep up as well, because some of my kiddos at home are really loving their art project and they're wanting to do lots and lots with it, and they don't want to stop, and I love that. But when we have the kids here at school, or the kids at school, they only have like the 50 minutes for art, and then they have to switch to a different subject. So we gotta make sure that they don't fall behind. Alright, so our last color again is purple. So red and blue gives you purple. And we're just gonna fill it in nicely again. And we're almost done. I really like how this is coming out. So if you have marker, hopefully you'll be able to use marker. If you don't have all of the colors, you could just use marker for the ones that you do have the colors for. But just remember that marker is going to be very bright and vibrant, and colored pencil and crayon usually can't really compete, because marker has that really vibrant, strong ink, that pop of color. Oops. No. This still looks good. Alright, so we're all done with the marker now. Now the only thing I have left to do is finish coloring my animal. So I already colored a lot of the top of his face. I still need to put some, maybe we'll use a little bit of red for the blush. I'm still trying to figure out what color to do his nose. Maybe we could do a brown nose. Or black nose. Oh, maybe not black. Let's do brown. I was gonna use pink, but his ears are gonna be pink, so I'm trying to do some different colors. But you can color yours whatever way you want. Just make sure that you're coloring it in nicely and you're doing your best to stay inside the lines. Is this brown? Yes. It looks really dark there for a second. Just filling it in. If you don't like, if it's not dark enough for you, you could always go over it a second time when you're using colored pencils. I mean, you could do that with crayons as well, but you probably won't have that big of a problem with it being dark with crowns. Maybe blue eyes? I think I like the idea of blue eyes on our fox. And again, that's a complementary color. Maybe I haven't talked about that as much in the video for you guys. But your complementary colors are going to be across from each other. And they're called complementary because they complement each other, which means they look really nice. They say nice things about each other. So blue and orange usually look really good together. And I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just like, I think blue eyes would be great. Alright. Some pink in the ears. And then I think we'll do some pink beans. Maybe we could do some different colored beans. If you don't know what I'm talking about when I say beans, I mean they're little circles, little toes. A lot of people call them beans. My puppy has lots of different colors on his beans. So some of them are pink and black and brown, and maybe we could do that. Maybe we could put some different colors. Alright, so maybe color those two pink. Maybe these two pink. Maybe, should we do, maybe we should try black. Maybe a black bean. We could try a brown bean. And if you don't like them all different colors, that's fine. You could always just do them all pink or all brown. So again, part of art is experimenting. And experimenting, like I said before, is just a nice fancy word for trying different things until you like what you get. Trying stuff out. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop our video here. That's probably more than long enough. You just need to be sure that you're coloring nicely. All I have left are my little feet to get colored, and then I will be done. So just color in your animal really beautiful and nice. Hopefully you can use markers for his belly, and then either crowns or colored pencils for the rest of him. So I hope you guys really liked this video, and take a picture of it and put it up on Schoology for me. If you are still struggling with Schoology, you can put your name. Let's go ahead and write names down here. So remember, your name is not Miss Mobley. But write your name nice and big down at the bottom, and you can show it to me during our Zoom time. And if there is time, I'll try and put a grade in for you really quickly. So hopefully we can start doing that for some of you guys that are still having a rough time getting pictures taken. So get all of this colored nicely and make sure you get your name, and you'll be done for this week. All right, guys, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.